Have you ever sat in a meeting and thought, I have no reason to be here? Or, I wonder if anyone notices that I'm not paying attention? You're not alone. If you're an adult and you've had to sit through a class, you're probably experiencing a lot of resentment towards the instructor, even if it's a topic you're interested in. The fact of the matter is, as an adult, it's hard to be the student. So, why? Well, my name is Alexis, and we're going to talk about that. The issue comes down to andragogy. Also, adult learning. Now, what happens is, as an adult, you're working against yourself. You've got too much on your mind. Maybe you don't know the person that's doing the instruction. Maybe you just don't feel like you can connect. And you're used to living your life as an independent person. So to sit down and play student for a day is really difficult. However, in order to be a leader on campus and in order to run a school, you have to be able to connect to your staff members. It's not just about the students. It's not just about their performance. It's also about how the staff takes new ideas, new pedagogy, new forms of curriculum, and implements them in the classroom. And you can't get to that point if you don't sit down with your staff and guide them through the process. So there's a few things to think of here. Now, Malcolm Knowles is a psychologist that talks about adult learning. In fact, he does a lot of research on why we as adults are terrible students. He actually makes 5 assumptions. He says that the first issue is self-concept, meaning that as you age, you have enough life experiences and you have enough maturity within yourself that you don't really feel like you can learn anything from a new situation. The other thing is adult experiences or learner experiences in general. It is really hard as a person to believe that you're going to learn anything new when you feel like you've already experienced or spent time with the topic. The third issue is a lot of times adults are not ready to learn. In fact, as the presenter, you need to be prepared for that. A lot of times, the people that are taking your class don't have the choice. And just like if you're the teacher in the classroom, you're working really, really hard to build those relationships and connections so your students want to learn, you have to do that with your adult staff members as well. They need an equal amount of respect and understanding that you can learn from them and they can learn from you. Orientation to the learning has a lot to do with it as well. Does the staff member feel like they have enough time to get it done? Are they under pressure to do other things? Are they feeling like they've already sat through this learning experience before? These are all things that can hinder your ability to actually reach your staff and make sure that you're building a stronger school community. And lastly is motivation. The reality is, once we finish school and we've graduated and we've had those accolades, it's really hard to go back. As an adult, you probably don't want to sit in class. I don't. It's very hard. So, as the instructor, you need to be aware of that. It's not personal. You really need to focus on how am I going to get the people I'm instructing to understand that this is an experience for both them and myself. Knowles also discusses 4 principles, and he says that there are specific things that need to take place in order for the learner, the adult learner, to feel like what they're partaking in is necessary or valuable to them. The first off is they need to be involved in the instruction and the evaluation of the topic. If you sit down with a bunch of adults and lecture them for an hour and a half about all the things that they're doing right or wrong, they're not hearing you. They're using that hour and a half to do other things that they find valuable. However, if you can send out a survey or take a poll and find out what your staff is struggling with and what they're looking for help on, you're going to get a lot more reception in that classroom setting. Again, experience is a big thing. The experience of your staff members needs to be valued, understood, and respected. It is so important that you're not showing teachers who have been in the room for 25 years how to do a PowerPoint. That's not helpful, and that feels demeaning. But if you look at the experience that your staff members are coming to you with and you're saying, how can I benefit this? Or how can I add to this, create a better standing for growth? Now we're walking in the right direction. Now we're using that growth mindset versus that fixed mindset. Adults are only interested in what serves them. It's the truth. Maybe it's not something we want to admit, but it's the truth. The reality is, as an adult, you are looking for instant gratification, instant payback for what you've put in. Again, if you're presenting a group of adults who are also professionals, who've worked very hard and have proven time and time again that they are great at what they do, with information or curriculum that doesn't serve them, you're not getting anything out of them. You have to be intentional with the material that you present. And lastly, oftentimes adult learning is problem-centered versus content-oriented. And this comes from Kearsley in 2010. And now, according to Kearsley, the issue is that when we hold these meetings, when we hold these learning opportunities, we're doing so because we've identified an issue that needs to be fixed. That's not getting us anywhere. It's not about the issues we can or cannot fix. It's about providing information that allows us to set goals, create community, build relationships, and orient ourselves with the curriculum. If we focus on how can we use this information to better everyone in the room, yourself included, then your staff members are going to be a lot more receptive. They're going to hear what you're saying, and you're going to get a lot more buy-in. At the end of the day, educators need to be lifetime learners. And I think sometimes we forget that. So let's do a little bit better.